Versatile Mage. Chapter 461. The Fifth Tier. The sand-hull tiger was surprisingly brawny. Even when its limbs sank into the flowing mud from Zhang Xiaohu's soul seed, it still managed to leap into the air and land on top of the rock barrier. The rock barrier was 10 meters tall and jagged in an irregular pattern. The sand-hull tiger was standing atop it, its eyes fixed on Zhang Xiaohu, who was the closest to it. It leapt from the high ground, its figure still covered in a thick blood shadow. Mo Fan was rather familiar with the power from that layer of crimson shadow, as the might from his blood tabby was fairly similar to it. The shadow granted the sand-hull tiger formidable strength. Normally, demon beasts like it could utilize their strength better on the sturdier ground of the Gobi Desert. The creature was most likely starving if it came all the way to these sandy hills searching for food. The jagged rock barrier served as a perfect springboard for the sand-hull tiger. It lunged forward swiftly and fiercely. Zhang Xiaohu had once again underestimated the creature's speed. He was already in the midst of casting the spells, yet neither the wind track nor the earth wave was quick enough to escape from the sand-hull tiger's pounce. The sand-hull tiger was inches away. Zhang Xiaohu could see the fangs in its giant mouth, and a foul stench swept in his direction, bringing an overwhelming sense of fear. Light protection. Sacred shield. Zhang Xiaohu, who was standing not far away, reacted quickly. His light element spell immediately formed extremely sturdy-looking shields surrounding him. The sand-hull tiger slammed into the sacred shield, and it felt like it had crashed into a metal ball. It knocked Zhang Xiaohu a distance back while shaking its head on the spot, like it had a concussion. Zhang Xiaohu was perfectly unharmed. He cast a grateful look at Zhao Manyan, who responded by patting his chest, signaling him, "Go ahead and do whatever you want, I'll look after your safety." Zhang Xiaohu nodded, convinced that everyone Mo Fan had assembled was elite among magicians. They knew how to work together without unnecessary signaling, which relieved him greatly. The truth was, Zhang Xiaohu did not have any offensive capacity. His main role in the army was as the vanguard, in charge of disrupting the enemy's tempo. In simpler words, he was in charge of aggroing the mobs. As the demon beasts focused on him, it allowed the other magicians to cast their spells without being interrupted. With Zhang Xiaohu as the vanguard, Mo Fan and Chen Yi immediately cast their intermediate spells. The sand-hull tiger, still dizzy from the previous collision, immediately faced two powerful attacks, which it dodged in a panic. The sand-hull tiger's evasion was fairly outstanding. Out of the two intermediate magicians, only Mo Fan's relatively swift thunderbolt was effective, knocking the sand-hull tiger back into the quicksand that Zhang Xiaohu had set up. Half of the sand-hull tiger's body sank into the sand before it could recover and crawl out from the pit. The sand had a high viscosity, mainly because of the earth element soul seed they had obtained from the Zizhao Valley. The sand-hull tiger was unable to move freely, as half of its body had sunk into the sand. It was like a beast captured in a trap set up by hunters. No matter how fiercely it struggled, it made no difference. The more it struggled, the faster it sank into the sand. Giant Shadow Spike. Mo Fan had no intention of hiding his strength and immediately cast the shadow element spell. The giant shadow spike nailed the sand-hull tiger's struggling shadow. A dark energy transformed into a binding gas, chaining the sand-hull tiger's shadow. The sand-hull tiger could no longer move, only watch as its own body sank slowly into the sand. The quicksand pit and the giant shadow spike were a perfect combo. The muscular sand-hull tiger had no chance of utilizing its strength and was soon eliminated by the party. It seems like the infamous Dunhuang demon tiger isn't as terrifying as I imagined, Zhang Xiaohu smiled. The sand here is soft, so your earth element soul seed's power is significantly increased. The sand-hull tiger was kitted to its death before it could utilize its full strength, agreed Lingerling. Let's see if the sand-hull tiger had some kind of rare bone or skin. Those are the valuable things, Mo Fan said with gleaming eyes. Mo Fan had killed lots of demon beasts, so he was not as pleased as Zhang Xiaohou after eliminating a warrior-level creature. He was more concerned about money. Unfortunately, the Sandhull tiger did not have what Mo Fan was looking for. Even its soul was only an ordinary soul remnant. He stored the soul remnant inside the little loach pendant, treating it as a raw material to refine soul essences, as he was aiming to improve his shadow element basic spell to the 4th tier. Say, Mo Fan, why didn't you try improving your basic spells to the 5th tier? Asked Zhao Mannion, raising his eyebrows. Chen Yi, who was standing beside them, opened her eyes wide. The 5th tier, does that mean this guy has already improved his basic spells to the 4th tier? The Zhao family was considered a famous, business-renowned family in the magic community. One could find marketplaces that belonged to their family in most cities across the provinces. Many people referred to their family as a Tuhao. Despite that, she had never seen any renowned family willing to invest in improving someone's basic spells to the 4th tier, let alone the 5th tier, which was basically a fantasy. Screw you. Leveling up a basic spell from the 4th tier to the 5th tier requires a total of 7 warrior-level soul essences. Give me the money, and I'll improve them right away. Cursed Mo Fan. Zhao Mannion had made it sound easy, but if the higher tiers only needed servant-class soul essences, he would actually consider living deep in the woods for a while to improve his basic spells further. However, the resources needed for the 5th tier were too dumbfounding. 7 warrior-level soul essences would sum up to more than 100 million, enough to get him the wing magical equipment for Xingxia. On top of that, the odds of finding a warrior-level soul essence were extremely low. Even if Mo Fan managed to collect over 100 warrior-level soul remnants, it was not enough to refine a complete soul essence. Improving his basic spells to the 5th tier was a strenuous commitment. Let's move on. Stop wasting time here. You'll have plenty of work to do at the Drifting Sand River. Emphasized Lingerling. The most dangerous part of their adventure was the Drifting Sand River. Even though they had brought Xingxia the Psychic along, it did not guarantee that they could cross the place unscathed. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.